Hello again and welcome from Firefly Ministries. We want to give you an update on what we're going to be covering this week in our worship service. But before I do that, I'd like to encourage any of you that were not able to either attend live in our worship service last week or to tune in the internet to take the time this week and to go and watch the sermon that the pastor delivered last week. It was entitled, "Is Economic Collapse Around the Corner?" It's actually one of the best sermons I've ever heard that gives a good perspective on the economic happenings of today and how they might affect our attitude and knowledge about end-time events. So if you haven't had a chance yet, please take some time this week and review that sermon. This week's message is, the title is kind of it's kind of a little catchy title. It's entitled, "Living Strong in a Land of Wrong." Living Strong in a Land of Wrong. Very interesting as a title. And what the pastor does this week, he goes through and explores how the United States was founded. And there are a lot of people that really in today's society that don't believe that the United States was founded on Christian principles. But in fact it was. And he goes through and parallels the examples of how the children of Israel, after they left Egypt and went into the Promised Land, what happened to them as the generations passed. And we can learn from that experience as we look at the experience of the United States and the desire of our forefathers to gain religious freedom and to have a country without a king and a church without a pope. And so as the generations have passed, a lot of our foundings have been forgotten. So the pastor just is going to do a good job this week on exploring some concepts that were available in that kind of contrast there. In doing that, I'd like to give you one text to maybe think about a little bit this week. It comes from Judges 2:10, and it says, "When all that generation had been gathered to their fathers, another generation arose after them who did not know the Lord, nor the work which he had done for Israel." And that is kind of the starting text that the pastor uses to explore his sermon this week entitled, "Living Strong in a Land of Wrong." Please join us.